everybody, it's Ramona here again from Connect Your Angels, and I wanted to put together a short video for you that explains how to clean, charge, and program your crystals, because that's the question I was getting asked a lot about. And I know more and more people are turning to crystals to use them in many various ways. Crystals are really cool because they carry energy inside, and the more you develop your spiritual awareness, you probably will notice that when you hold a crystal, you can actually feel some of that energy within it. So it's really, really neat. So you can use them for many, many purposes, for healing, for helping in all kinds of circumstances. And as I said, they carry that energy inside, and so the best way that you can work with a crystal is to carry it with you, to wear it as jewelry. You can have it around your vicinity, especially if you are working. You can keep it by your workstation, and those are some really great ways that you can benefit from the energy in a crystal. Now, crystals are kind of like sponges. They pick up this energy from wherever they are, so they've had it from when they were in the ground, and then every single person who's handled them from the time they were mined to the time that it gets into your hot little hand. So there's a lot of energy that's contained within that crystal, and also, just from going through the transportation process, and all the finishing that maybe have been done to the crystal, so all of that stuff. So that's why it is important that when you bring home a new crystal, you properly cleanse it, okay? Now, there's many different ways that we can do that, and I'm working off some notes here because there's so much here that I want to tell you. I don't want to miss anything. So let me just, take a look here and make sure I'm not forgetting anything. All right, so the first one is you can call on the ancient Lemurians. Now, if this is a new concept to you or you haven't heard of the Lemurians, they were an ancient civilization that even predated Atlantis. But the cool thing about the Lemurians was that they were geniuses when it came to working with crystals. And they learned the best methods to keep them clear, to keep them working optimally. So what you can do is simply call on the Lemurians and ask them to help you. And this is a little prayer you could say to them. You could say, "Lemurians, please help me cleanse my crystals now, refresh and intensify their energies, so they may become tools used for my highest good. Thank you." And that's all you have to do, and you can invoke the Lemurians to help you cleanse your crystals. The other one that I really like too is smudging, and this is an old method of clearing energy using any herbs, particularly white sage, and kind of just letting them smolder so that you have the smoke. And it's by wafting the smoke over the crystals that helps to clear them. So as you can see in this bowl, I have some dried smudge, some white sage. Actually, I have some cedar in here as well. Cedar is another popular one that you can use, but white sage particularly is the one that most people use. And you can also buy a smudge stick and light it on fire and then blow it out so that's just smoking, and wave the smoke around, and that will clear your space, can clear your crystals, all that kind of stuff. So smudging is also a really great way to cleanse your crystals. Archangel Michael is awesome at clearing negative energy from our space, from anything. And so you can actually ask Archangel Michael too, and you can just say, "Archangel Michael, I ask you to send your purifying energy into my healing crystals. Please awaken their inner knowledge to heal and inspire. Please prepare my crystals for healing work and align them with my energy now. Thank you." So that's another way that you can work with them. Water is also a great one. Now, the key thing about water is some crystals are water soluble, meaning they're very soft and they break down in water. So if your crystal has a hardness of 5 or less on the Mohs hardness scale, and that's MOH', then you will not want to put that crystal into any water. Okay, and you can look up the hardness. If you know the name of the crystal, you can just Google, whatever it is, quartz, Mohs hardness, and it'll tell you what it is, and then you'll know. But with water, you can just hold the crystal under some nice running water. You may need to hold it under there a little longer if the crystal's been working really hard, or if you haven't cleansed it in a while. You can actually even put it in a bowl and with a little bit of gentle, mild dish detergent, and just kind of let it sit there for a bit. Again, that's not something you're going to do if the crystal is a soft crystal. According to the Mohs hardness scale, One of my favorites that I like to do, and they come out super duper sparkly, is using salt in my sea salt in the water and putting about 1 tablespoon of sea salt into a big bowl of water. And I like to use spring water because it's kind of living water. And again, for this one, you will not want to put any crystal in there that's less than a 7 hardness, okay? So all your quartzes are fine, but there are a lot that are less than a 7 in the most hardness, so you will not want to put those in the salt water, okay? So I leave them there usually overnight. The next morning, I give them a really, really good rinse. And I like to leave them out to dry, dry on their own, or you can, dry them gently with a soft cloth. And then I like to kind of just leave them out for a bit to kind of just make sure they're nice and completely dry, okay? All right, another really cool method that you can use to cleanse your crystals is sound. So any kind of chanting, drumming, you can use Tibetan bells or tingshas, the little cymbals, Tibetan singing bowls, you can use that, tuning forks, all of that stuff you can use to help cleanse your crystals based on the sound. Some people will actually put their crystals into a Tibetan singing bowl and then activate the sound and just do that to kind of really clear them the vibration. And it works really fast too. People have found that that's one of their favorite methods because it's quick, right? They don't have to leave something out sitting for hours and hours. They can do it fairly quickly. All right, now another really cool one some people don't know about is you can actually use another crystal to cleanse your crystals. So you can have something like this, and place your crystal on an amethyst bed like this, or a quartz cluster, or inside a geode. So you can take your crystal, if you have one, and just kind of sit it inside like that, and just leave it for a while like that, and that will help to cleanse it as well. Something else people do, and I don't know about this one, but it's something you could do, is use the earth. So you can bury your crystal, and I'll mark it really well, because you don't want to lose it. But bury it in the earth and leave it there for 1 to 2 weeks, or use the moon cycle. So you can bury it when the moon is full, like right now. Actually, this is very timely because it's a full moon right now. And then unearth it at the new moon, which is in 2 weeks' time. But again, you would want to mark it really carefully because I would hate for somebody to bury a really nice crystal and then, then their yard becomes like a big, hole because they're digging everywhere to try to find where their crystal is, right? I think that was it for the cleansing methods. So now, once you've cleansed it, you'll want to charge your crystals with positive energy. And some of the ways you can do that is through prayer. You can also use the sunlight and the moonlight. And so I just want to mention a couple of things about that. So with sunlight, you have to be really careful if you're leaving quartz or crystal balls in direct sunlight, because it can pose a fire hazard, all right? It's like, intensifying the sunlight through a magnifying glass, so you have to be really careful about what you're doing and, just keep an eye on them. So just take note of that. Regarding the moon, okay, so this is great. Again, like I said, it's a full moon right now, so there's a lot of questions that come up. All right, you don't have to put them out in every full moon. What you can do is use your intuition and see which, if it's a brand new crystal and it happens to be close to the full moon, sure, that's great. If you have existing crystals, you feel like they need a reboot, then you can just use your intuition and see which crystals feel like they need a full moon bath, right? And you can put those ones out, but you don't have to do it on every full moon. Now, even if it's cloudy, people wonder, can I still put out my crystals if it's cloudy? Yes, because the moon, energy of the moon still penetrates through the clouds. That's, it's not a barrier to it. So definitely you could still leave them out. If it's cloudy, they will still benefit. Now, some people don't have access to outdoors, depending on where they live, so they wonder, can I place them in the windowsill, and can the light of the moon come through the window and still work that way? And absolutely yes. The moon energy still penetrates through glass, so it's perfect if the weather's bad outside, or if it's rainy, or you don't have access to an outdoor space. That is totally fine. You can leave them there, and actually I did mine that way last night. I left them all out in an area where I know the moonlight comes in, so that's fine, because I have a lot of small crystals, and we have a lot of magpies and crows around where I live, and they love shiny things, and I don't want them to snatch away my crystals and fly off with them, so I did it from the inside. Now, some people wonder, what if it's really, really cold? Won't my crystals crack if I put them outside? Well, cracking occurs when you go from extreme to extreme, so if it's really warm and then really, really cold, it could crack. So depending on how warm your house is and how extremely cold outside it is, you have to just take that into consideration. Mostly if it's not, if it's moderate, it won't be a problem. But just keep that in mind, and if in doubt, I always say if in doubt, don't put them out, right? Just put them in the window and then they can still benefit from that. So don't worry about that. Okay, so that's what you can do to charge your crystals. So you can use either or. I kind of use both, but I really like the full moon energy. So when that rolls around every couple of weeks, I love putting or every month, I guess, yeah. Then I love to put out the stuff in the full moon. Okay, now you've got your clean crystals. They are ready to go for you to start working with them. You will want to program them. And some people have never heard of this. They think, what the heck is that? So this is basically just filling the crystal with your intention of what it is you want that crystal to do for you, okay? So what you're going to do is use your loving thoughts and work with the crystal. So you're going to take some time to connect with it. Okay, here's your crystal. You're going to look at it. You're going to notice any little cool things about it. Hold it in your hand, see how it feels, see if you get any energy from it, and really take in any feelings that it creates in you. See what this one feels like. Then you can hold it in your hand and you can focus your mind on whatever it is that you want your crystal to do. So you might want it to help you in some kind of healing capacity, or you might want it to take anxiety away, or you might want it to shield you from negativity, or keep your psychic energy protected, or your auric field protected, whatever it is. So just sit quietly with this, hold it in your hand, and you can imagine the thought of what you want this crystal to do. Imagine that thought is going deep, deep, deep into your crystal. And you can sit there for 5-10 minutes doing that, right? Now it works really, really well if you can kind of repeat this process for about 2 weeks' time. And you'll notice that every time you do this, it sort of takes less and less time for you to really connect in with your crystal. You'll kind of create this relationship with it. And it kind of sounds kooky, but it's true. So, speak to this. Let it know what it is you want. Speak from your heart. Be really open, as if you're talking to a trusted friend, right? And remember, it's all about your intention. It doesn't matter what words you say. It's about your intention of what it is you want. Like I said, speak from the heart. And then if you are going to be away from your crystal, some people will take it with them while they're programming it, but you don't have to, especially if it's something big like this. If it's a little tumbly stone like this, that's fine, right? You can just pop that in your pocket. But something like this, it's a little harder. So you can just place it somewhere where it won't be disturbed during the time that you're programming it, and that's totally fine too. So it's a way that really you build that connection with your crystal, and like they do, they become kind of like your close friends, and I even name some of mine. So, you create this relationship with them. So I hope that helps you. Again, it's always fun to go crystal shopping, and I know people bring their crystal home and they're excited and they want to work with it right away. But it is important that you take some time, a day or so, to really cleanse it well, get it charged up, program it. Again, you don't have to go through the whole 2-week programming thing, but if you're going to be working with specific stones, maybe for some kind of healing capacity or something like that, then maybe you want to spend a little bit more time with that. And then you have your stones ready to go and you can start working with them. So I hope you found this video helpful. I know it was a long time coming. Sorry it took a little longer than I expected to get this done for you. But let me know how you liked it. You can post here on YouTube, or you can send me an email at spiritualmailman@connecttoyourangels.com. Remember, the 2 in the Connect to Your Angels is the number 2, okay? And I invite you, if you haven't been over to my website, check it out. It's www.connecttoyourangels.com. Again, it's the number 2. And if you haven't signed up for my free angel reading videos, you can do that right on my homepage. So I invite you to do that. Have a great time and enjoy exploring the website. Keep tuned in, because I am going to be doing another video also about which stones to work with for the chakras, because that's another question people have asked. So stay tuned. I hope to get that one out to you guys very soon. Thanks for watching. We'll hope to see you here soon.